Hello and welcome back to Karma Cruising. I'm Scott.
I'm Helen.
And I'm DJ.
And underneath in his bed is Cocker Spaniel Flash, just having a chill out. Just thought we'd take this opportunity today because it's not forecast good weather. It's just had a massive pour down. We've got thunder and lightning a bit later on. It is actually just stopped at the minute, so give a bit of a break. We just thought we'd take an opportunity to actually give you a good look round the boat and what we've done. I thought I'd start with the electrics because a lot of people wonder how we get on with things of keeping TJ's stuff charged up, you for your hair and everything to be dried, and things like the slow cooker. So I know we've done little videos before, but I just thought I'd take into what we've actually done with the electrics. So if my assistant comes up, and I'll just show you into the back here.
Assistant?
I have got a few little jobs that I need to do to finish off to make it for the boat safety certificate. Things like the connectors onto the batteries, if you can see in there, are not covered. Now as daft as it seems, you can just put a rubber mat over the top of them, but I'm going to do something else and tidy it up a little bit more for when the safe check, it's on my to-do list. But I have 3 Varta batteries in there. 2 of them are brand new, and one of them's what the other owner had, which was he says about 2-year-old. So how I've got it wired up is these 2 batteries at the front actually work our electrics in the boat and the inverter charger. The back one, we use it just solely as a starter battery, but if we needed, we can use all 3 in sequence as well to power the boat if needed, and that's all done by this switch down here. I don't know if you can just see that, Helen. I'll use the fuel a little bit out the way. So we have a turn switch on here which isolates or it turns onto which battery. So I'm currently selected on number 2, which means it's the 2 batteries that power the boat that we're using. I could turn it with a flick of a switch and we can use all 3. Or let's say the worst happened and I drained all of number 2's batteries to the point where we wouldn't be able to light anything or use anything or even start the engine. So what we could then do is flick the switch around to number 1, which uses the back battery, and it means that we can always use start the engine up via the starter battery, or as I said, I can have it at both. So I'll turn it back to 2. When the engine's running, it will charge all 3 batteries very slowly, but because it's an outboard engine and not what you have on a narrowboat, a big diesel engine with a big alternator, it has got the biggest coil on it possibly can have to charge up, but even then it only puts minimal back into the batteries. So what we have on the top, if my assistants can just show us again, I should be calling me assistants, the wife, shouldn't I? If I just drop this canopy down, if you can see out the window there, we have got the biggest solar panel that we can fit on the top of our roof. We've just got a boat going past us there. Just heard the engine de-throttle there, so they are slowing down for us, which is good. But the solar panel there is the biggest we can fit on the boat, which is quite a decent size. And off the top of my head, was it 175 watt solar panel?
Watts, I think so, yeah, 175 watts.
Yeah, I think that's what it was off the top of my head. If you do want to know exactly what it is, I can find it. I didn't go on the biggest wattage I could get. I went on the biggest solar panel I could give, which did actually give us the biggest power. The other thing we can do as well is, if we have got shoreline power, if we're at the marina or anything like that, we can plug into the shore power just by putting a lead from there into the post. Or the other thing we have got is we have got a Honda generator that if we're cruising like now and we're away for a long period of time, and we bring the generator, if we're just going away for the weekend, we do generally have enough power, even if it's not sunny, to last us, so we don't bring the generator then. Outside socket, I'll just show you that while we're doing that, was put in off by me on the electrics as well. So it's a waterproof socket, as you can see there, it's lighting up, and that's because the inverter's switched on at the moment. So if you want to go down into the boat first, Helen, and I'll show them what I've done. So we're going to control panel here. So at the top is our main fuse. So we have two rings on this, two ring circuits if you like. One of them does the two sockets that are inside of this cupboard, which power the water heater if we are on outside shoreline power. It also charges the Dyson Hoover up, and then we have two spare sockets there, and that also is wired to the ring main for the socket, which is the garden socket, which is the one I've just showed you in the back of the boat there. The other switch does the two sockets that I've installed into the kitchen galley, which is two 230 volts, which have USB on them as well. So obviously if we flick that on and show you, if I just put that onto high, you can see the lights just come on onto there, and if I switch it off, it goes off. Now what happens when you use that inverter is we have a control panel here, which is for the Victron Energy control panel. Shows me what's in the battery, what's being put into the battery. Also Bluetooth connects to my phone, so I can see trends and things like that of what uses the most electric and things like that. And then I'll just take the camera off you, Helen, and just squeeze this round to here. This on this side is the solar panel charging unit, and if you can just see there, 12.6 volts of battery are coming in to 12.6 volt of energy, if you like, electric is coming into the batteries to charge the batteries up at the back. When you do use the inverter charger, which is a 1600 output, so Helen can use a hairdryer and things, it obviously does take off your battery. So be mindful. What we tend to do is turn the inverter charger on when we need it, and then when we don't need it, we switch it to the off position. And then that gives the chance for the batteries to be charged back up off the solar. So then in this instance what we have is we revert to 12 volt. So as you can see up there for the TV, we have a double 12 volt socket which charges TJ's devices. We also charge our own devices on a separate 12 volt we've got in the back of the boat as well, and that will still power the TV, which is on 12 volt. The TV doesn't have an aerial or anything like that. We just use that solely for what was the word I'm going to say there?
Streaming.
Streaming. Couldn't get the word out. It's a smart TV, so we don't have an aerial. We just stream it or use our hotspots on our phone. Also, the lighting will still work off 12 volt on here and on here, and we've changed these to LED lights, and they really are bright. In the back of the boat there, we have a couple of little 12 volt lights as well, which are really bright. I keep hitting my head on that rail we've put in temporary just to help dry things. I'll give you that back, Helen. I'll just show them back to the front of the boat. The back of the boat, I should say. Can't get the words out today. And also I installed, when I redid the driving cockpit, I put in a 12 volt and a USB there, so you can plug one of them in with your leads, or you can plug your leads in, and that'll still work without the inverter on as well. So we have plenty of power, and that's how we keep ourselves topped up and use it and keep TJ entertained with its devices while we're not moving or while we're not doing anything.
When it's raining.
And when it's raining. So we've got I'll do another vlog after this one which shows you the other bits of what I've done with the gas and the cooker and things, but you know, I hope that was helpful. If you want any more information, just ask and I'll try my best to answer it. So leave it at that.